This content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It's very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. The Better Traders is not a broker dealer. We are not an investment advisor. We have no access to non public information about publicly traded companies or cryptocurrencies. And this is not a place for the giving or receiving of financial advice, advice concerning investment decisions, or tax or legal advice. The value of investments and the income derived from them can go down as well as up. Investors may not get back the amount they invested, and past performance is not a guide to future performance. Hey guys, it's me, Min Papa, and it's great to see everybody here on YouTube. This is my live stream that happens every single week at this time. This is my 11 a.m. on Thursday here in Tokyo, Japan, where it is nice and hot. It's been really hot, but I mean, that's par for the course. But this time, North America, East Coast, like New York, should be 9 p.m. on Wednesday, and that would mean it would be, 10 p.m. on Wednesday, and then it would be 7 p.m. in like LA on West Coast time. I'm sure there are lots of people watching from South America and Central America, as well as people from Europe that are just, you do the night shift thing. I don't know how you do it. And other people that are here in Eastern Asia. So it's good to see everybody here and joining me with me today. Good grief. Filler. But what I do want to talk about is just touching over the things we talked about last week and going into the charts to talk about what's happening with Big Daddy BTC, what's happening with everything else. Things are beyond bullish right now. And it just is really exciting. Again, this is a great time, like I said last week and even before vacation. This is a good time to start turning on your bots, to start generating some profits from your bots as charts are starting to move up higher, and we're seeing that happen now too. If you missed it, I just posted a video, well, to me, last night when I was asleep. But my newest video was watch these AB trading charts. You gotta watch this video because so many of these charts from the Better Traders Club, my watch list, is just fantastic. So it doesn't always end up this incredible, but it's also the timing of things. So many of these charts have pumped. A lot of the trading pairs on the watch list are just doing exceptionally well right now. So it's very exciting to see this. It's very exciting to see how well the market is responding to this big move up. But as a reminder, sorry, I got sidetracked. You can tell I'm excited. I am. I have a live stream every single week. If you want to be notified about the next one, go ahead and hit that notify me button. I can't because it's my channel. If you like the live stream, please go ahead and like it. Please go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. So let's go ahead and jump on over to TradingView and just to look at a couple of things. So I'm just going to look at 5 charts today. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Litecoin, and Link. Ethereum is the talk of the town. Wow. I mean, it's funny because if you've been watching my live streams for a while, and if you've been watching me on YouTube, I've said a couple of times, when I think we've hit the bottom, I'm going to be telling family and friends, people that have been asking me since last fall, when is a good time to get into crypto? And I told everyone at that time, not yet. Well, that moment came and passed. I actually emailed people during my vacation, where I took 2 weeks off now 4 weeks ago. And as soon as Bitcoin capitulated on the week of July 18th, that to me was it. So I already emailed people, and it's fantastic to see the market rebounding so well. And I have to say this too. Some of the people that I emailed to didn't take action because they couldn't, or they were nervous, or for whatever reason. I get that. That's normal. But it's funny because as a trader, when we're looking at a chart like this for Bitcoin, and let's just replay a little bit. So this is when I told people when I told people, hey, you might want to get into Ethereum, you might want to get into Bitcoin, you might want to consider some of these charts again. Well, actually, it was more about Bitcoin. Back from, let me do this. So it'd be about here. So telling people, zooming out and saying, hey, I know something you don't. I think that the markets are going to move higher. I think it's going to be great. I think you should consider it. And to see things play out, of course, we do a little bit of an up and down dance, but things are looking brilliant right now for Bitcoin, but way more so for Ethereum. Absolutely killing it. It just kissed $1,900, which is fantastic. So absolutely bananas. Just there's so much happening. This is Kraken, but I know it doesn't have the most trading volume, but I have it because it's the best historical chart. So I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm all over the place. Let me go ahead and just go over here to Bitcoin. Let's talk a little bit first. So I had a live stream for the Better Traders Club, and I've said it now a couple times, but I haven't explained what that is. So the Better Traders Club is a subscription-based membership to a private Discord server where there is a ton of stuff happening. There is the private community, there's the DCA backtester, there's the TBD forecaster, TBD stop loss hunting alert, the TBD signals, the Better Dip signals. There's a lot of other stuff too. It's actually insane. There's a ton of content for the price. It is completely worth it. So in the Better Traders Club, over here on Discord, I've been posting a lot, and I shouldn't be showing this, but I am. But there's just been a ton of stuff happening, and it's been so exciting to see people making profits in the club and enjoying it. That's great. So if you're looking to get way more updates from me much more frequently, the Better Traders Club is where it's at. So going back to all this, in the Better Traders Club live stream that I had this week, I talked about the possibility of this bear flag a little bit more in depth than I did talk about it on Monday's video this week on my YouTube channel. So the quote unquote fear that we could be seeing is that we have two, well, basically identical bear flags. And these bear flags can be scary because essentially what a bear flag is we have downward market movement, a rebound, making higher highs and lower lows. But as soon as we crack below, then that's going to be confirmation enough that it tanks the price. There's been a lot of talk about, well, the fact that we are in a bear flag right now. But I'm feeling confident personally that we're not going to do what we saw over here, because doing what we saw over here would drop us down to 10K. And I don't really find that to be a possibility for lots of reasons that I've explained now too many times. But essentially what I'm expecting to see happen, and this is what I said in the club, I'm expecting an 80% chance for the price of BTC to go sideways, break out of the bull flag, and fall down here to about 20K, bounce, and keep going sideways, and then shoot back up. That's what I'm expecting to have happen. Not exactly like this, but something like this. And I think it's much more likely that that happens. I think it's not very likely that the price just tanks and goes down to whatever terrible number. And in the same way, I think it's also less likely for Bitcoin to actually crack above this and to shoot up higher. But both of these instances, right here and right here, these are both invalidating the bear flag, which is great. So while I think it's more likely for us to come down, hold 20,500, 21,000, and then move up, and it's way less likely this happens, in both scenarios, I think this is more likely to happen. I think it makes the most sense for Bitcoin to fall down, to freak people out, and then go up higher and hold 20K. I understand that there's a lot more that we could discuss and talk about with that. And again, I went into way more depth on Monday's video and also in the club, so you'll have to watch that content and rewatch it again. But for where we are right now with BTC and just ignoring this, just to go over a couple of things. One, RSI is super duper strong. One thing that's fantastic about RSI that I really love right now is that it has a trend and it's just holding it real nice. I could have used the trend drawing tool. Why didn't I? But one thing we do have to, why don't I just do that now? That's so stupid. Here we go. Pop. There we go. So it got broken there. It went lower, lower. So that's about right. But we do have an overhead trend line we have to consider too. But here's the beautiful thing. This one just got invalidated. So the test now is if Bitcoin can crack above
this horizontal line. And this horizontal line is basically from this RSI reading of 68.98. And then if that's cracked, then it's time to see if BTC can crack above this line, which basically is the 76.09 reading on the relative strength index. So one of these is just boom, it's cracked, it's done, we're holding support. So that to me shows that we're going to see bullish continuation. Now, if RSI can crack above 70 on the daily, expect a pullback. But if it can come up here and meet or beat this daily RSI reading of 76, I just moved it, 76.09, that's going to be fantastic for BTC. Expect that whole idea of that bull flag to be broken to the upside. And it's going to leave a lot of people in the dust. This is, again, I'm going back to that story about me writing people. It was important to me to write people at that time because I knew that if the market starts to get any whiffs of bullish sentiment, it's really going to take off. Anytime a market has been severely oversold for such a long time, and again, let's go to the weekly time frame. Let's look at some of this craziness. And if we think back to just the RSI in the weekly, it was below 25 for a ridiculous amount of time, for 9 weeks. That is insane. It's never been that oversold for that long. Just because it hasn't been done before, it doesn't mean that we should expect something to rebound right away. But it does suffice to say, having an RSI reading that low, that oversold for so long, that is like incredible. If we look also at something that is easier to get access to, and that would be the fear and greed index, this thing as well has just been on fire compared to where we were before. Let me just do a little bit of a zoom. So now we're getting these readings of 42, which is crazy. 42 on the fear and greed index is massive. It's of course hovering in this 40 range and 30 range and stuff, but we're starting to move up the scale. Think about it. Once we hit 50, this is like neutral zone, and then we're going to start to get into the greed. We haven't even gotten there. So if we take a look at some of these dips and the recoveries, right? If we look at some of this, we can see that it's oversold to the, not oversold, but you know what I mean. It's down here to 28, 20, and then it shoots up to 45, 54. It's been so beaten down for such a long time. It's been brutal for so long that it makes sense that there's going to be a relief rally. So I'm excited. There's a lot happening. There's a lot of underlying strength that's showing through the charts, and we're seeing it here. So when we think about this chart, which is actually a much better chart to look at right now, when I look at this and I think about our TBO insights, this one's really, really fun to me because this is giving us an approximate idea of when we're going to see Bitcoin shoot back up into the cloud, which is going to be at about anywhere between 27,500 to 28,000. We're looking at somewhere between the middle of October to the middle of November. But I mean, it's kind of hard to ignore the momentum that we're seeing right now. RSI is clearly moving up higher. We're seeing basically just a straight move up. Now, over the next week, the TBO fast line right here, it could actually, it does look like it's starting to slow down. It's not pointing as drastically down anymore. It's kind of going to be right here at 27.9. So if we could see some crazy move up, boom, it's going to shoot up into the cloud way, way, way faster than usual. And this will throw off a lot of projections that I have. And it's going to really make me go back to the charts and to look at everything again, because things are not going to be what I was expecting at all. So again, things are looking really positive, really bullish for BTC. I do have to take a second to pause because the CPI, the Consumer Price Index numbers, were released this week and everyone was expecting bad stuff. Actually, it turned out to be 0%. Again, there was a little bit of fear in the market, but not really. And the market has responded so positively to that. It's obvious. So whether you think this is a mid-cycle rally that we're seeing, while we're still in the middle of a bear market or not, I mean, bears are hating this right now because they're wanting it to drop lower and lower and lower. what I'm not seeing yet is this liquidity, oh goodness, cascade, or liquidation cascade, excuse me, where when we look at charts, gosh, like this would be a liquidation cascade where we have longs and they're forced to short, or forced to close their longs by selling. We're not seeing that yet. So this is actually really, really safe and good movement for BTC. Anytime we shoot up real fast in a short amount of time, that means that we're going to have a recovery that comes right back up real quick, a V-shaped recovery. So we're not seeing that kind of inverted V-shaped recovery. This is actually really good price action to see for BTC. All right, too much for BTC. Let's go on to Ethereum. And I can see here from a lot of the chat here that, yeah, Ethereum is up 11%. It's insane. Yesterday was up, what, it closed 8%, 8.84, almost 9%. And today it's up again, 1.25. Ethereum is on a very clear tear. I'm going to go ahead and open up some stuff to share with you. There's a ton of stuff happening for Ethereum. So I'm going to go to the weekly time frame. One thing that's really hard to ignore is this little bit, I call it this resistance fan. So this purple line is our long historical resistance. That means on the weekly, RSI would have to shoot up here to 70. That's going to take a while, but it actually already cracked above this first resistance. And now it's going to test the second resistance line right here at approximately 59 or 60 on RSI. But I mean, if Ethereum keeps raging and roaring, it's going to keep going up. I think it's really interesting to see how fast it's recovered. And I say that because I want you to see what it was like in 2018, where we had our high, and then we have our trend line drawn right here. It took forever for Ethereum to come up to retest it. If we draw another trend line from here to here, we can see when it finally broke above and retested here, but still it took a long time for it to break above, break higher. Comparing that to where we are right now is literally night and day. It is insane at how fast Ethereum has rebounded again. And you might be wondering, why is this happening? There is demand. There's demand for Bitcoin. There's demand for Ethereum. There's demand for Binance Coin, which is up crazy high. There's demand for a lot of these layer 2s, which are competitors to Ethereum, because if the merge, Ethereum 2.0, doesn't go well, then all those other competitors are going to do well. So there's a lot of speculation happening just because we're in these shaky financial times. Don't pay attention to the news. Pay attention to the charts, because the charts tell the story every single time. The charts don't lie. So Ethereum on the weekly time frame kissed our TBO fast line, which is right now at 1919, or at least here on Kraken. So you can see the high here right there. It says H, it says 1919. It says at 1998. That's weird. But that's a fantastic target to have hit for Ethereum. Much better and much stronger than Bitcoin. Notice the difference? Bitcoin still has to move up another 15% or so compared to Ethereum, which has already touched it. It's insane. So what is Ethereum looking at now? Well, let's look at some resistance that we have right now. So some obvious points of resistance are, just thinking logically, not even here, but looking at these wicks down here. So 2000 is going to be a resistance point just because it's a lot of zeros. And then we have these numbers here, 23. And then, of course, we're going to come up to this line. At 25, there's going to be some serious resistance, which actually, where is it? Here. It coincides really well with our fib lines. So let me make things a little bit easier to see. Get rid of the TBO. So right now, and the resistance fan. So right now we've broken above. And I told my club members, once Ethereum closes above 1800, expect it to move up a lot higher. We're seeing that happen right now. So moving up here to 2000, there's some resistance. Moving up here to 25, there's resistance. That is totally in line with the TBO. It's totally in line with price action. It's totally in line with our resistance fan. There's a lot of coincidences happening right now. So really exciting stuff for Ethereum. I don't expect it to slow down anytime soon. I think Ethereum is just going to keep raging. So it's really exciting. All right, let me turn that off. let's go next to Cardano. Just gotta fix something real quick. Haha, okay. I forgot to put my phone in do not disturb, and it's flashing. I don't want it to flash at me right now. Cardano is one that I've been holding and waiting on for a while, mainly because of this. Cardano has been building up on the RSI on the daily. So we're seeing rising building strength, but not a lot of price action. But more importantly, we're seeing something really, really good on the TBO. And you should know this by now. See those two orange dots right there? Those are TBO close shorts. The TBO is one of the best indicators that I've ever used, and I use it for all my trading decisions. I use it to start bots and stop bots, generate deals, all that kind of stuff. You can use it on traditional markets. It was created for crypto, but there's a ton of stuff. I do want to mention that you get a free trial of the TBO for with any of our trading courses, like Account Builders 15 Minutes, Mastering Passive Income, Smarter Trader. It's a fantastic indicator, and this is why. It's telling us when the chart could see a change in trend. Again, this is the close short symbol. That means that we're in a short position. We saw a close short up here. The price fell down, was rejected. That's okay. But when I see two or more in a really close area, in a really short amount of time, like here's one that historically has worked out, excuse me, very well. If we just scoot back a little bit more and let the chart refresh, we're going to see another one back here. And we see the chart does extremely well after that. Here are two together and the price hasn't opened long. Of course, you could argue that this is a different time, April 2020. This is after the Corona crash. But again, we see it here, we see it here. This is letting us know that we should see a move up higher. So this is why I'm excited when I see these two dots, these orange dots, give me an early warning alert that we could see one of these, which is an open long. And when we see an open long on the daily, that's letting us know that we should see upward continuation happen for the trend. Now let's take a look at this. This is why I'm excited about ADA or Cardano. Not because of the smart contracts, not because of whatever, I think his name is Hoskins, right? Charles Hoskins is saying, not because of anything they have. It's all because of the charts. Because Ethereum, Cardano is really close to breaking above this trend line. I understand that it was broken above here, but it was confirmed right there, right there. So we are at a point where a little bit of a push up from ADA is going to push us up here to 63 cents, and then to test this line up here, which will be at about 67 by the time we get there, maybe 65, or maybe this will just coordinate together, maybe. So we have a lot of overlay right now, and we're above a previous Fibonacci retracement. This is all lining up to me to be really great. So even without the trendline fan, we can clearly tell with a boost in our RSI that things are going to start moving up for Cardano. At least that's what I believe, and that's what I've done. I've put my money where my mouth is. Another one we're looking at is Litecoin. I can see here in the chat from Rob Bob, LTZ Zombie. Yes, I'm actually very excited about LTC because it's in a similar spot where it is in one of these legendary super duper long resistance lines that go all the way back here from the 10th of November 2021, tested here March 30th or 29th 2022, and here we are. And it was actually tested a couple of days ago on the 8th, and now it's basically getting closer and closer. Do you know what's going to happen to this? What we're going to see happen is we're going to see this support line being tested. It'll probably fall down a little bit, and then it's going to have to make a choice. Is it going to come down or is it going to break above? And given the bullishness of the market, given the fact that we're seeing a rebound all over the place, it makes a whole lot of sense to me that we're going to see it retest. Okay, this is another thing too. We can't leave out the fibs. Look at that. Tested 1, 2, 3 times, breaks above this, breaks above this. We're off to the races for LTC. I think it'd be really exciting to see that happen. So again, I'm watching this one very, very closely. Okay, now we're up to Chainlink. So Chainlink is in a really nice spot. I've actually been accumulating Chainlink right over here, and that decision's been paying off so nicely. And we're still, what, if we're going to count this as the bottom, Link is only up 73% from the very bottom. If we're talking about the TBO support line, where we had so many times, it hit so many times, we've had such a long time to accumulate, it's up 46%. But even still, if we look at, this is the crazy thing about crypto, if we look at this, we are still so far from the all-time high. I'm not saying that Link is going to shoot up to $50, but this is a great area to accumulate because we are going to see it move up higher, just like everything else will. Link has had a nice rally up. It shot up crazy high, 140x. And of course, it's fallen down crazy low. That's what happens in these bear markets. Why is it not showing me my percentage? But it's had a huge drop. I think it's at least 90%. Yep, 90%. So now we're seeing a rebound. So what could it do next? Well, I mean, the first thing to do, of course, before we get super duper excited, is we have to crush this first resistance where it's testing right now. Once it crushes that, then it's on to the next one, then it's on to the next one, and then it's just trying to figure out, well, where could we go? So we have some resistance that we're at right now with fib lines. Again, I talk about this stuff in the Smarter Trader course for good reason, because it teaches you how to become a smarter trader. So break above this, next resistance is at 12, and that lines up beautifully with the support right here. And then we just keep retesting. The whole point of why I'm doing this, by the way, is not to make you feel like, but I missed out. No, this is just to help you understand how cyclical the markets are. As much as it's going to move up, there's going to be a pullback at some point. But this is a great area to accumulate. Like I've been telling people in the Better Traders Club, everything's just going according to plan right now. So now we just got to see how much higher is it going to go. So it's really exciting. And I believe, yep, that's the last one. And it's perfect time-wise because I didn't want to go too long. I try to keep this at about 30 minutes. So looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Litecoin, Link, these are charts that I'm watching. These are charts that I'm sharing with my club members. These are a couple of them actually 4 out of the 5. I don't have any LTC, but I do have those other 4 right now, and I'm really excited to see what's going to happen with those trading decisions. Of course, I'm using 3 commas and I'm taking profit on the way up. I took profit on Ethereum at just below 1800, which is brilliant because that's what split targets are supposed to do. So yeah, okay. Let me take a quick look at the chat here. So it's good to see everybody, by the way. Hi from Dominican Republic, I guess, DR. I'm guessing Dominican Republic and Cape Town. Hey. So as far as my watch list color codes, I understand all of them except for the ones that you label as watch these, sort of an orangey red at the top of the list. What do you mean by that? That's a great question for the club server, Vincent, but it just means watch it. It means that I'm watching it really carefully and closely, and you should be too, because I'm expecting a big move, typically to the upside from here on out. So that's what I mean by that. And I see some Portuguese, which I can't read, but I love the C with the little thing at the end. Yeah. And then Ethereum Classic to our chart. Yeah. Ethereum Classic. This is, I don't know if you've been watching Ethereum Classic or why it's moving up, but Ethereum Classic's been on a huge move, particularly because of Vitalik Buterin. So in his, not the one that's happening right now, the Blockchain Futurist Summit, I'm butchering it, but it's one that's happening in Toronto, and he's speaking there right now. And actually we have, if you're in Toronto, we have staff from the Better Traders there at the conference, so you can go over and say hi to them. And Rune is there as well. So he did say something along the lines of, if you don't like Ethereum 2.0, how we're moving to proof of stake, away from proof of work, then you'll still really enjoy Ethereum Classic. That was enough to shoot Ethereum Classic up crazy. So it does have some good price action, but a lot of it was missed. I missed a lot of this move too. But I mean, it makes me nervous though at the same time, because I don't like to see anything move up too quick. Anytime any chart moves up way too fast and it stalls, like we're seeing right now, this to me isn't good. You can see RSI is cooling off. It's starting to get weaker and weaker. Price isn't really responding. If I go to a faster time frame like the 4 hour, we're getting some early warning alerts to close long, either to take profits or the chart could change directions. Anything faster than that's not going to be so helpful right now. But on the daily time frame, yeah, actually, if you check that out, the TBO was plotting where resistance was going to be at 47, and it's done an amazing job. It shot up to what is this high of 45.36. So as I say, you never ever take profit at these lines. You always go below. So if you went below, you'd be in profit, which is ridiculous. But anyway, going back in time, there's a big rally up, goes sideways, big sell-off. A really quick move up, goes sideways, sell-off. Now the sell-off's not going to happen as quick. If we go back over here, of course, this is euphoria. This is a much different time. But again, big move up, sideways, down. Big move up, sideways. This one goes up, but check the time. This is during alt season of 2021, early Q1 2021, when it was normal to see charts shoot up 100+%. So Ethereum Classic, yes, it's had its move, but there would be so many other ones to check out that are similar, like Matic, like Avalanche, like BNB has also been on an amazing run. This is the chart action that I love to see. Slow and steady wins the race. This one is much safer, in my opinion, than Ethereum Classic. So good. All right. Well, I gotta cut it off because I'm over the 30-minute mark, but it's great to see everybody here and joining me for today's live stream. So I don't even remember what I was gonna say. That's terrible. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. Duh. If you want more updates from me, if you want curated watch lists, curated DCA bots, if you want indicators, if you want like trading signals, all like there's a ton of stuff in the Better Traders Club. I keep talking about it all the time, but that's the place to be. And it's great to see it growing. It's fantastic to see it growing. So I understand there's a ton of stuff happening right now. The best piece of advice I can give you is that you need to stick to your own trading plan. If you made a trading plan and you bought tokens on the dip, don't get greedy. Take profits on the way up. You should always be selling into the rally, always, because you don't want to get stuck in this mindset of being greedy and I'm going to sell Bitcoin when it's at $200,000. It's like, that could take a couple of years still, friend. So it's better that even on a short rally, even if you're selling a little bit, just take a little bit of profit, just a little bit of profit on the way up. That way you have some peace of mind. That way you've taken some profits. Because I cannot tell you how many times since 2017 up until now that I've missed out on doing that, where I got into this mentality of, well, I'm just going to hold a little bit longer. I think it's really going to take off. There's nothing wrong. Just take a little bit, a little nibble on the way up. And just give you a little bit of peace of mind, okay? So stay safe, stay awesome, and stay in the green. Peace.